Hello everyone and welcome again to another Teacher Joseph podcast. Well, in the news today, Bonnie Tyler is there. Now I'm sure you remember her. She had the big hit song with Total Eclipse of the Heart. Well, she's in the news today because she's admitting that she had accent reduction classes before she sang that song. Bonnie Tyler is Welsh, and if you've ever heard her speak, she speaks with a really strong Welsh accent. Now let me explain something for you today. If you're a non-native speaker and you try to find an English teacher like me, then basically you're looking for accent reduction classes. You want to speak better, so you find a teacher who can help you do that, and that's great. But what about those people like Bonnie who already are native speakers and they just want to speak well? Well, they don't go to English teachers, they go to elocutionists. And an elocutionist is someone who helps you to speak better. An elocutionist is a native speaker who helps other native speakers change their accent or speak in clearer ways. In these days where regional accents are celebrated, elocutionists probably aren't so popular. But in the 19th and 20th century, elocutionists were a big part of society. If you wanted to be a newsreader, or if you wanted to work on the media, then an elocutionist would help you to speak well. They are still around, and if you're interested in improving your accents, you'll have more luck on social media if you look for elocution lessons and elocutionists than simply looking for accent reduction. An elocutionist helps you correct your vowel sounds. It's kind of like a life coach focusing on voice. It's kind of like me, but without the language learning part, because they usually help native speakers, or they're helping people who have good enough English who want to improve their accent. They're all over YouTube, and I recommend that you have a look for them. Now, carrying on with this story, let's see what this news report says about Bonnie Tyler. It says, Bonnie Tyler signed up for elocution lessons early in her career because she was so self-conscious about her Welsh accent. Yeah, to be self-conscious means that you are very aware that something isn't right. The Total Eclipse of the Heart singer, who's now 72, was born in South Wales, and she was concerned about speaking on stage. She said, I was singing since I was 17. I'm in my 70s now, but in between songs, I used to get very, very nervous because of my Welsh accent. And so I thought I would try to curb it down. Curb, that's a verb we used last week. It means to contain, restrict, or to try to stop something. And then she goes on to tell us, as you can hear, it didn't work. Well, anyway, today's affirmation, which I'd like you to write down and carry with you, is I express myself well. I express myself well. Okay, so I want you to think about that today and try to work with it a little bit, because many of us feel we don't express ourselves well. But I'd just like you to imagine that you do. So just repeat that affirmation a few times. And remember, when people ask you to repeat your words, it might not be because of you. It might be something else entirely. But we are very quick to blame ourselves, thinking it's our bad English. Now, for those of you who are doing this week's weekly lesson, I'm going to read for you the second paragraph here. And when I'm reading this, I just want you to hear how my voice is going up and down. Yesterday, we spoke about shadowing and pushing the words together when we're speaking. But this time, we're going to do the same with intonation. So let's read through it. So remember, try to repeat after me, following my intonation, and also trying to follow my joining the words together. Culture and the artistic endeavour has long been a bone of contention in the UK because it is difficult for any progressive capitalist governments to see how the arts, including a celebration of history, could generate an income which could be sustainable, stable, and contributory to the economy. As a result, funding for artistic projects and endeavours is often cut when money needs to be saved. Yet there is a beauty in our history, not because it is history itself, but because of its endurance and stamina, which in part at least has been preserved through our museums, art galleries, and ongoing projects. It is this historical archive which our government has made available to millions by removing entrance fees. There we are. So that's just a little bit more on intonation, putting your voice up and down. Also joining the words together. It's really, really important to do that to make a good impression. By the way, speaking of making good impressions, we're going to read through another story here today, which is saying that British people are coffee mad. And of course, it's saying this because it's not our traditional drink. But many of us are turning more and more to coffee, as I've explained before. And the headline of this story is from the Daily Star. It says, Twilight Caffeine Addicts. British people are becoming coffee mad, even drinking caffeine boosts late at night. An estimated 4 million British people drink coffee before going to bed, despite its reputation for being rocket fuel because of its high caffeine content. A spokesman for coffee machine maker Philips, which conducted a study, said Britain is turning into a nation of late-night latte drinkers. Britain has always been a nation of people who do things differently, who don't play by the rules. Yeah, that's because we don't taste it. And then it goes on to say, that's why this survey has shown that 7% of people in the UK enjoy coffee at night time. Apparently, coffee with milk is the nation's number one choice, followed by black, strong, extra large espresso style. And classic espressos are Britain's second and third favourites. 14% of us drink more than 5 cups a day, 23% of us drink up to 4 cups per day, and 36% stick to just 1 or 2 daily cups. Around 7 in 10 use cow's milk, but that figure falls to about half for younger consumers, and a third of under 28 are using oat or almond milk. Oh, very interesting, isn't it? Very interesting. So, yes, it's saying 7% drink coffee at night, and very high numbers drinking a lot of coffee there during the day. So, oh, very interesting, isn't it? Very interesting. And again, as I was saying yesterday, if you are going to museums and art galleries, be very aware because they cost a fortune. Yes, and another story here, which we'll just do briefly, is saying that our British Museum, that's the big one based in London, has had a number of artifacts stolen. There was someone working there that's been stealing a lot of items from the British Museum. As far as I know, that person's been caught. But there's someone in the news today, and he's basically saying that he knew all along this was happening. This is a Dr. I.T. Gradell, and he went to the British Museum in 2021, and he told them, I think people are stealing from you. But the museum fobbed him off. That's an expression, as you know, we've spoken about it in the past, which means they gave him a cheap excuse and told him to leave, saying that they had no problems. It took them 5 months at one point to respond to one of his letters. And he's saying here, I was absolutely certain that things were going missing. And it says here, thousands of items are missing. Some 626 items have been returned since a number of thefts took place over the last few years, and now the FBI is involved in trying to find out what's happened to a lot of the items that have been taken away. So very interesting story, isn't it? That people can steal from a museum such as the British Museum. Right, okay, so our affirmation for today was I express myself well. So no matter what other people tell you, no matter what the evidence looks like, I want you to hold on to that thought. And I know it's very easy to get nervous sometimes, you know, but hopefully these podcasts will be helping you and empowering you a little bit. You'll also notice that I'm speaking a little bit faster in these podcasts, and that's just to try to get you into the way of how we speak. So hopefully that helps you a little bit as well. That's it from me today. Let's talk soon. See you. Bye.